Okej, wszystkie easter eggi i sekrety w Skibidi Toilet. Zapraszam, Hiko tutaj nam przesłał, a my sobie to poanalizujemy, słuchajcie, także zapraszam, lecimy. Ale my chcemy po polsku, prawda, napisy.
Secrets and Easter eggs from our favorite series, Skibidi Toilet. We've watched the entire series and specifically selected the most interesting things for you. Make sure to watch the video until the end to find out how well you know the series.
No dobra, zobaczmy, co oni tutaj przygotowali ciekawego. Będziemy się z nimi oczywiście zgadzać lub nie. Ja zapraszam was na mojego Discorda, właśnie powstał link w opisie przy piętym komentarzu. Wbijajcie tam do nas.
He dedicated this detail to his subscribers. I think he decided to thank everyone who subscribed to him.
A, to tam było pokazane, że ile subskrybentów miał, nie?
He had about 1 million subscribers. These beloved animations in particular gave him that fame. This detail is connected to the number of his subscribers. On June 26, 2023, episode 43 of Skibidi Toilets is released. By this time, Boom's channel has already reached over 15 million subscribers.
15 milionów subskrybentów. Wyobrażacie sobie to? Jasny gwint. To trzeba mieć naprawdę dużo.
You won't notice it so easily. It's so well hidden that only in a frame-by-frame rewind can you spot it. Honestly, I stumbled upon it entirely by accident. By the way, I can't help but praise myself because I was the first one to notice it.
Okej, co się stało?
Hidden himself so well. If you pay close attention to episode 56, when TV Man finishes off the skibidi that attacked him, the POV cameraman turns his head in the other direction. At that moment, you can see Dayfuk sitting in the car.
A rzeczywiście, Boom tam siedział w tym aucie. Ja tego nie zauważyłem wcześniej. Boom tam siedział, no. Ja cię.
One reason they didn't engage in the war for a long time, just observing, as if waiting to see who would ultimately win. But when they realized that they had to make a decision about whose side they were on, TV Man started helping the agents in the fight against Skibidi Toilets. Also, recently, I noticed another interesting detail that hinted that TV Man had a connection with Skibidi Toilets before. See this sign at the entrance to the underground toilet?
No właśnie, to ja wam też pokazywałem, że to wejście jest takie samo jak TV Manów.
Base? You'll be shocked, but the exact same sign can be noticed at the TV Man base.
Tak,
I want
to
to
samo.
believe it's just a coincidence. I think a little later, we'll learn more about this.
Let's go back to episode 63,
To wam pokazałem, mówiłem o tym, nie?
Cameraman sits behind a machine gun and shoots at everything that moves. In this episode, Skibidi attacks Cameraman's outpost. If you look very closely, you'll notice one Skibidi claw holding G-Man's
No właśnie, o tym mówiłem wcześniej, już wielokrotnie, że tam był jakby uszkodzona ta część tego astrotoalety, więc to jest ciekawe.
I have no idea. I think Dafuk left it for us as an Easter egg, as there were no further hints about this toilet.
Guys, the next detail will definitely surprise you. Not many people noticed it, and I'm sure you saw it first on my channel. In episode 34, the agents captured large cameraman infected with a parasite. When the parasite tried to escape at that moment,
Tam był
POV
TV Man.
cameraman turns around. Very blurry, you can notice TV Man standing there. By the way, he wasn't noticed immediately in the same episode. It was much later because at that time it was very difficult to recognize TV
No,
Man
wtedy było bardzo ciężko, bo te filmy były bardzo szybkie i nie było... Ja też dopiero potem, słuchajcie, chyba po 3 odcinkach się w ogóle, czy 4, kapnąłem, ogarnąłem to, że tu był TV Man. Nieźle. Tak.
Yes, that's indeed a cool detail. A similar thing could be noticed in the following episode when the agents were experimenting with the antiparasitic cannon. Suddenly, G-Man and infected Speaker Man appeared. When POV cameraman tried to run into the alley, on the left, you could see TV Man standing there.
Patrzcie, TV Man też tam?
The screen was white. Initially, you might have thought it was just a streetlight, but after the very first appearance of TV Man, I rewatched all the episodes and realized that he's been watching
Ja
us.
cię gwiżdżę, patrzcie, my możemy cały czas odkrywać sekrety w tym.
Not in episode 36, but much earlier is cool. It's amazing that Dafuk leaves such cool Easter eggs.
No.
Guys, do you know which Skibidi had the antenna from Cameraman Titan? In episode 51, we first saw the Titan episode. It was insanely epic how he effortlessly destroyed the pathetic Skibidi. And when he encountered the flying toilet with red eyes, you can notice one interesting detail. Part of the wings on the Skibidi is the same antenna installed on the head of Cameraman Titan. What it was doing there remains a mystery. Perhaps
To jest dziwne, no.
Or maybe agents and toilets are getting parts for their soldiers from the same flea market.
Ej, to
By
jest
the way,
ciekawe,
apparently the
słuchajcie.
antiparasitic tank was
Czyżby
also
oni byli
assembled.
jakoś
It had the
połączeni
exact
ze
same
sobą?
antenna installed.
I have another interesting detail that takes us back to episode 16. In episode
16.
67, a group of agents is traveling in an armored vehicle. On the right, you can notice a crashed helicopter, and above it, there's a marking. I remembered where I might have seen it when I was analyzing episode 16. There was a camera in the toilet that was supposed to infiltrate the laboratory and spy on Skibidi. Well, on top of that camera, the
też
exact
jest,
same
no.
marking was applied. It's
Patrzcie,
an
to
interesting
samo.
detail that you can notice
Jacek,
only
widzisz, że
if
tu
you
jest
carefully
tyle tych
scrutinize
ciekawostek,
all
że
the
to jest
details of the
głowa
old
mała.
episodes.
I know another cool detail. As you know, DeFuck likes to leave interesting details for us, not only related to characters, but also with numbers. In episode 65, when POV cameraman takes out the tablet, you can notice numbers on it. And an
No,
amazing
to są
fact,
numery.
if you add these numbers together, you get the episode number. I think it's not just a coincidence DeFuck
66,
left
no.
such an interesting Easter egg for us.
Yes, that was a cool detail. In the same episode, I noticed another interesting aspect. Dafuk appears throughout the series and simply observes without directly interfering in the conflict. However, a couple of times, he did help the agents. When cameraman hits the
No tu
Skibidi
nóż
toilet,
podał, nie?
someone hands him a knife, and that someone is Dafuk himself. I'm sure of it because there was no one else nearby. If you look closely at the episode, you'll notice that the other agents were far away. And only
No
through
to na 100%
teleportation
on
could
był,
someone
nie? To
get
widać,
next
że
to
to
it so
człowiek
quickly.
jest.
There was another moment when Dafuk helped POV cameraman.
No z tym
It happened in episode
słuchawkami mu
62.
podał,
The
nie?
scientist
Tutaj te
toilet
słuchawki.
unexpectedly appears and activates his speakers. Of course, the agents weren't prepared for such a turn of events, and no one had protective headphones because no one could have anticipated such a thing. But by some fortunate coincidence, headphones happened to be on the floor. I'm fully convinced that Dafuk tossed them. After all, nobody had headphones at all, and they couldn't have accidentally ended up on the floor.
You've noticed some cool things. I just remembered another interesting detail. You can spot it in episode 50 when Skibidi attacked the Alliance base. There's this huge Skibidi capable of breathing fire. It's intriguing where it learned to do that. You can see a protective plate in front of its eyes. Yes, its main purpose is to shield its eyes from hypnosis. But I noticed that light emanates from this plate onto Skibidi's eyes.
Serio? Z
I
tej
believe
plat...
there's a screen on the other side. Perhaps this screen either hypnotizes this Skibidi and tells it what to do, or helps the Skibidi understand what is in front of it
Może to jest
and where it needs to
monitor.
go.
Guys, did you know that one of the Alliance members tried to imitate Pungerman? In episode 53, you could notice that all large cameramen hold an electric baton in one hand. But in this frame, you can see this particular
no.
large cameraman holding two batons. Even Plungerman noticed this. I think he understood that they were trying to parody him, but he didn't pay much attention to it. Apparently, even large cameraman wants to be as cool as Plungerman, to receive as much attention and admiration from other Alliance members.
Czy myślicie, że
I
to
hope he
parodiował
realizes
go?
that being such
Nie
a
wydaje
hero
mi
is
się.
very dangerous, and such an agent always takes more risks than others.
While you were talking, I remembered episode 49. In that episode, one enormous Skibidi was following us. When the flying buzzsaw toilet started approaching POV cameraman from behind in the air, you could see the huge head of Skibidi with white eyes. It really scared me at that moment. It
To
seemed
wyglądał
even
jak ten
larger than
gangsta,
Genie.
nie?
When TV woman activated her ability, her head lifted, and like a parasite, it attached to Skibidi. It began to control his mind, thus destroying the toilet. And this enormous head swiftly flew
No to
away,
helikopter
probably
był.
afraid that it might meet the same fate.
By the way, regarding the numbers, I remembered another interesting detail. In episode 51, cameraman Titan has a laser. At one point, you can notice a dial on this laser. At the end of it, there will be the number 51, indicating the episode number. There were also two other numbers, but I
Ej,
couldn't make them
naprawdę?
out.
To było
If you have
tyle
any guesses
odniesień
about what they
takich, ja
might
tego
say,
też nie
feel
z...
free to write about it in the comments.
Let me
Wow.
voice the last detail that wasn't difficult to notice, but not everyone caught it on the first try. It happened in episode 55 and the agents carefully entered the city. You can spot DeFuck on
No
the
to jest
balcony on the
boom,
top
no.
right. He hid quite well there, but my job is to find these details for you.
Guys, that's how the video turned out. I hope you enjoyed.
Nieźle. Dajcie znać, czy wiedzieliście o tych wszystkich ciekawostkach. Bo ja na przykład przeoczyłem tego TV Mana. Ej, nieźle.